Okay, so we're setting it up now. And according to me, we are live. Hello, everybody. My name is Marnie Homer, and I am the founder and the creator of the Business Goddess Network. I've been in business myself for 23 years. In that time, I've created 13 businesses from scratch with no money down. And like our guest today, I'm also a #1 international best-selling author in 3 countries and 3 categories. But that's enough about me. This is about our member in the spotlight. And today we are really, really blessed to have the amazing and beautiful and gorgeous Faith with us. Now, just before we get started, Faith, I'm just going to let everybody know that if you're seeing us and you're hearing us, then please let us know so that we know that you're here. And yeah, don't be afraid. If you've got any questions for Faith, you can pop them down in the comments down there, and she'll either answer them on the call right now live, or afterwards she'll jump on there and she'll help you out. All right, so that's pretty much the housekeeping. So without any further ado, Faith, welcome.
Thank you, Manny. Such a joy, such a pleasure. I feel like I literally have been transported down under. I mean, just even the backstory of what we were doing before, which I won't get into, but I literally felt like I was at your place. So yay. Now we get to say we do 3 A's, Atlanta, Austria, and Australia. So thank you for having me. It's so great to, I want to just acknowledge you for the group that you've created and this focus on creating a space and a network for women to connect and thrive, and see the Grammys, like the women just like, I mean, swept up the whole place. Like the future is female. Women are, you know, the ones ruling the world. And I think there can't be too many groups or, you know, watering holes for women. And so kudos to you for growing this to over 200 in a really short time. And I just count myself fortunate to be, you know, one of the 200, and it's going to go beyond 1,000 and beyond. I know you said your next milestone was 500. That'll be gone. So everybody, if you're hearing me, invite your girlfriends in, invite your clients in, invite your customers in. Just a really great place to be. And it's really good to be at any place from the sort of ground floor up, because you get a lot of perks, like being the first person to be interviewed on Member Spotlight. So thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Absolutely. It's such a delight to have you here, Faith, and to be the very first one on our spotlight. There's been a couple of lovely ladies jump on for that, so that's pretty amazing. But, you know, you're basically my guinea pig, so here we go.
And listen, and it's a perfect topic that we're talking about today. I mean, before I get into why branding is important, I want maybe to just offer up to the audience to start thinking about what your understanding of branding is versus marketing. So just let that sit and stew while we sort of like come back around to that. But yeah, anytime I get an opportunity to talk about the work that I do and why it's important, particularly for women, I just jump on it. So when you said this was available, I just literally looked at my calendar. I was like, there is no time like the present. Like life is now, jump on. And I'm sure that's why I was the first, because people probably picked a couple of weeks out. But yeah, let's get into it. For those of you who don't know me, as Manny said, my name is Faith James. I'm the CEO and founder of the Personal Branding Consultancy. And I've been in advertising, branding, marketing industry for about 25 plus years. I say 25 because it's easy to say, but it's probably longer than that. Now, some of my previous client experience have included IBM, AG Edwards, Microsoft, Pepsi, Frito-Lay, Nestle. It's like a client list for the gods. Like I count myself so fortunate and blessed to have had this experience. And so now I get to show up for the women. I get to take all of this, I mean, just a treasure trove of knowledge and experience that I've had, and to take all of that learning and give the women, particularly small business entrepreneurs, the unfair advantage of knowing exactly what large mega corporations, multinational corporations are doing, and apply that to their business, to their entrepreneurial journey. And so, I mean, can you tell I'm fired up? I'm here for the women. I love it, love it, love it, long time. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. So you've definitely worked with some incredible brands there, which has given you probably a wealth of experience. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get you on early, because, you know, I've been in business 23 years myself, and the importance of branding. It is so vitally important that you get this right from the get-go in your business. And many women and many business people just don't seem to get it. They slap together any old logo and they just pop it up there, usually a copy from Canva or something like that, and they don't take any time to really do the research. I mean, there's so much to learn about branding. So can you give us an idea for the ladies out there that haven't really gone down the branding road yet? Why is it so important that your branding is on par?
So glad you asked that question. It's really important everybody listen to me, and particularly in the US. I don't know what the numbers are in Australia, but in the United States of America, every month, 550,000 new businesses are formed each month. 550,000 means people, entity, go down to sunbiz.org in Florida or wherever it is the government and say, yes, I'm forming an LLC. That means 550,000 more new people in an already crowded market space. One of the things I talk about a lot is this idea of the accidental entrepreneur. So we're living in this now season of, the pandemic and COVID. Many businesses have shuttered, many companies have laid people off, and now you find yourself having to find a way to feed your family. Hence, you go file an LLC and you put up a shingle and you say you're in business. So just imagine if you're in need of, let's just make it up, a house cleaning company, right? And there are a plethora, a cornucopia, a whole lot of cleaning companies in the marketplace. How is it that the consumer gets to choose which one? Oftentimes they may be just choosing on price. They may be choosing companies that are using lesser quality products, maybe a lot of chemicals. Maybe you have, a young child and you want to really be careful about what you introduce into your home. But then how do you know who to choose, and then by extension, who to trust? If my brand as the premier house cleaning company in the north or south of the country, wherever you might be, that I have a reputation that when somebody says, hey, Manny, we just moved to town, we're looking for a good cleaning company. Who do you recommend? Is your name being filtered among those conversations? If your name is in there, that means, number one, the awareness of you, it doesn't exist. And even if there was an awareness of you, does somebody have enough of a reputation attached to them that they're willing to stake? Because you're staking your name on something when you give somebody a referral, right? You're saying, yes, I vouch for this person's good, etc. If you haven't done the work to build your reputation in the marketplace, you're literally just like a leaf, just tossing in the wind, hoping to land somewhere. Like when I say, again, if I think of, a beer, if I say like Foster's, or if I say Budweiser, immediately there's a brand recognition, and whatever that recognition is for each person, there are keywords and attributes and values that come to your prefrontal cortex that give you, you're reacting to, well, what was my last memory of Foster? Oh yeah, they were at the game and they sponsored this thing and they had this really great booth and they gave tons of money to charity. I like Foster beer. Yeah, sure. Give me more. Or what was the experience? Oh, they kicked us out and they didn't, do what they said they were going to do. I don't like that beer. There's so many things that get attached to your brand reputation. And so if you're just not focused on it, you're just willy-nilly letting it form as it forms. When it comes to the point that somebody's looking to make a buying decision and your name isn't here, because the human mind, maybe 5, maybe 10. If I were to say, give me the name of 10 automobiles that are considered luxury, people would have a hard time. They're like, did you see how Manny's eyes? You guys watch Manny? That's exactly it, right? This is a woman, a professional who is, global, done work with tons and tons of companies. This is not her first time around the block, right? She's done 3 different corporations. But even in that moment, so this is the truth of the human condition. Even in that moment, the recall of, oh my gosh, luxury outlook. Oh, let me think. It's not that she doesn't know them, but it's not sitting right here. So when somebody says, I need a copywriter, I need an agency that does X, Y, and Z, you spend the money, you build a brand to stay here. So to come all the way around the mulberry bush to answer your question, why branding is so important, is because it causes the people to keep you front and center. This space right here, top of mind, Brands pay tens of millions of dollars in advertising dollars, marketing, and all sorts of PR promotion initiatives to be able to say, when you think of coffee, what do you think of, right? Starbucks pays millions and millions of dollars for that name to be the unaided recall. So that's why it's important, the reputation. Sure, if somebody's just going to be buying on price, difficult sometimes to compete on that. But when you're talking about building long-term connections and long-term relationships, somebody who can do a job for you, and then by extension, they're going to get referred to your clients and your clients' clients, you want to make sure that you have somebody that you know enough about them to say, yeah, you know, I've heard, even if they haven't done work with you, man, that they've heard the word on the street, as I like to say. What is the word on the street about Manny? What is the word on the street about Foster's Beer? What is the word on the street? And it takes time for you to build that reputation, because it's all about an experience that people have with you. So for example, to make it even more real, and forget about Foster's Beer for a second, I'm on this show as a guest, right? Many people are going to see this beyond just the women in the Goddess Network. Somebody may say, oh, I saw that you were on this member spotlight on Manny's show. Tell me about her. That's an experience that I have. So Manny, as a host, is very much thinking about, what is the guest experience like? Is it that I make my guests feel welcome? Is it that I give them enough time? I give them enough flex time. They don't feel rigid. You know, she was like, oh, the floor is yours, Faith. Just, you know, share. This is about connecting with the audience. That I would say, oh my gosh, if you want to tell your story, you want to connect, you want to feel like you're part of the show, get on Manny's show. She doesn't restrict you. She doesn't give you like a countdown. You got 30 seconds to answer, right? So for the people for whom that matters, they're like, oh yeah, let's get our people on her show. Let's get into her group, because she makes you feel welcome, like family, like you're part of the whole community. And for people who love that kind of like warmth, that's going to resonate. So not everybody is going to love you 100% of the time. We get that, we understand that. But for your people, so that then they can say, oh my gosh, you got to come into this group. It's so much fun. You know, we're talking about this, we're talking about that. So that's why at the end of the day, the branding is so important, because the reputation, the word of mouth, most important, most critically, most valuable. You know, Manny could run an ad in the local Florida paper that says, join my Facebook group, right? Just literally, she could run an ad that says that. Or I could do a post and say, I want to tell you about my experience being a guest on Manny Homer show. Like, guys, you're just, I mean, sit down, you know, would blow this ad out the water. Even as stylized and brilliant as it is, because it's my personal firsthand experience, I'm communicating about it. So that's why when you think about the brand, it's more than just, like you were saying, a logo and some copy and some stuff from Canva. That it's beyond that. Long answer, but it's so important that entrepreneurs get that, because it's so easy for somebody to just roll along the side of the highway and go, hey, want a brand? I got a logo in the back. I got a website in the back. Want it? You know, for the low price.
Look, you know, like, look, you want to watch it?
Exactly. It's like, hey, I got a brand for you.
What do you want? Unicorns on this side, unicorns on the side, and on this side we've got
exactly. Is it crazy or what? And they fall victim, because here's the thing, they don't know better. And that's sort of like gets back to why I'm so passionate about what it is that I do, because I get to let people know that I exist. I get to let people know that there is a solid, expert, proficient brand strategist in your neighborhood that knows what she's doing, that's been doing this for multinational brands, that can do the same for you. Because I know about the 550,000 coming in every month who just say, hey, I'm a strategist. Oh, hey, I write copy. I'm a copy, you know, I did an online course for wordsmithing. I'm a copywriter now, right? And so we get to be in our full power. We get to say, no, here is the difference between somebody who's just popped off, you know, like a train and took like an online course, versus somebody who's steeped in your expertise, Manny, for 23 plus years working and doing this bit of work. And there's one Facebook quote that I did. I said, if you think hiring an expert is expensive, wait till you hire an amateur. Right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So true, because that's where the entrepreneurs get caught. It's like, oh, what do you mean? it's $1,500 a month to do your 2-day VIP. Yeah, because I'm going to save you so much money long-term, because you're not going to end up doing your ad 3-4 different times or redoing your website 5 different times. So I love it. I'm here for it. And I'm here to just take up more space. I'm here to make sure that female entrepreneurs know that there is help, that there's good, solid help, right? In the marketplace across the globe, right? So you and I get connected. It's just like out of the blue, but so good. Like, this is what needs to happen. You get connected and you hear the stories, and then you go, oh, I got a recommendation from so-and-so because of the word on the street about their brand.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally. You know, one thing came to mind when you were talking there, and I think it's very important, especially for the women in our group, you know, as we grow. You know, we do tend to attract a lot of people that are in MLMs, so multi-level marketing or network marketing businesses.
Sure.
Now, obviously, network marketing companies spend a lot of money on their brands. They spend a lot of, like, you know, time, you know, perfecting their marketing and all the rest of it. But, you know, it still actually comes down to that individual, doesn't it? It comes down to that individual representative. It really, I mean, you can say, you know, I'm a Mary Kay person. I've been doing that for 30 years. But it still comes down to that whole, you know, individual branding and that whole like, no, trust thing, isn't it?
Absolutely. I'm so glad you teed up that example, because I don't even know if you know this, like I'm sweating in my studio, that I'm in several. So one that I've been in for the longest time is Legalshield. I've been in that since 2013, and everybody has the same website. They have the same enrollment site. They have the same 800 number. They have the same law firms, same business lawyer is going to review this, right? Nothing different. And I remember I was attending this when I was in Port St. Lucie. We went to a different networking group. Anyway, this gentleman was like, I want to sign up and get my identity theft plan with you. And I think he had known somebody prior. And I said, well, it's the same one that so-and-so is. He's like, no, I want to sign up with you. So this is where the irrational connection comes in, because what did I just say to you, Manny? It's the same website. It's the same. I don't have different attorneys in the back of my trunk. It's the same thing. He's like, no, I want to sign with you. And this is what he said to me, because you always show up. So when you build your brand, people become irrationally connected to you. It's no different than the iPhone. Like, why are people lining up for Lord knows how long, people have their Apple tattoos, with like, it becomes so like intrinsic to the part of your personality. And like, why? They're so emotionally connected because there's something about what you do that's meaningful for them. So it doesn't matter if you're Mary Kay, doesn't matter if you're Legalshield, doesn't matter if you are, I don't know. I also do my Swarovski company. Doesn't matter. It's you. I always say hashtag you are your brand. At the end of the day, you are the brand. Because here's the thing. Here's why, even if you're in network marketing, the branding thing is so important. It's so important for you. Yes, there's the 800 number. Yes, there's a number that you can call for member services. But what if you built your brand as somebody who's really steeped in the value of experience and really making people feel special, heard? And part of what you do, you decided, because it's your business, even though you're MLM, you decided that you're going to do once a month, there's like a Zoom town hall meeting with Faith. Bring all of your Legalshield questions. This is the time I'm here to answer you. If you want to have a question, can your 26-year-old get on the plan, right? I'm doing that. That's extra, has nothing to do with the company. I'm saying, because I value this, I do for my people who sign with me a month free town hall meeting. Do you think that that's going to be distinguishing from my brand? Do you think people are going to go, oh my gosh, so if I went on vacation and my wallet was stolen, I know she cares about customer service. So even if I rang her up and at 7 p.m. on a Friday night, that she would take the call and say, okay, here's the 800 number, here's the emergency number for traveling and your identity gets stolen, this is what you do. There's so many things that multi-level networking people can do to distinguish themselves. It doesn't matter that they're 10,000 reps, but you've got to build your brand.
Absolutely. And as you say, it's your personal brand. It's about people getting to like, know, and trust it's massive. It's been around for donkey's years, like, you know, that's
Exactly.
the saying for you, donkey's years. Like, it's been around for years, the whole like, know, and trust. It's been steady, it's stayed the same. And I'm going to say it's been consistently there's my word for the month, consistently. What actually people have to do, they have to get people to know them first. They have to get them to like them before they're going to trust and before they're going to buy, regardless of whether they've got Mary Kay behind them, whether they've got like Juice Plus. I don't know if Juice Plus is over there, whatever it happens to be. It's about you. It's about, branding, and getting yourself known.
And especially, Manny, I would even say, especially if you're in network marketing, you need to build your brand. Especially, it's not like you have like a boutique where it's a one of a kind thing and you're on Sunset Boulevard and this is the only place to get it, right? When you are in a company where there are 10,000 reps running around the place, even more important that you build your personal brand, because then you become a commodity. Oh, it's the same thing. Well, I can just buy perfect example. My Mary Kay rep. I could order from any Mary Kay person this. I moved out of the neighborhood from where I live. My rep still lives there. I just email her and I put my order in now via the phone. I don't see her anymore. So I could have just said, oh, I'm not there anymore. Let me find somebody. The point is, I'm attached to her because of the way that her customer service is, the way that when I say to her, I want something different for my brows, I'm like, that's too dark. And she'll send me like, what about this? What about this? And I'm like, I tried, it doesn't work. And she's like, send it back to me. She's not letting it be up to me to make a decision like, oh, that didn't work. And now you have to mail it back. So for that reason, even though we're, I don't know, 4 hours away, she just mails it. Here's the order, and she sends me an invoice. I don't even go to her Mary Kay website to order anything. I just flip through a catalog or I remember what I ordered and I'm like, there you go. So if anybody in the group, any of you goddesses are Mary Kay reps, you might want to connect with me and find out what my rep is doing and try to duplicate that in your marketplace. I mean, as another note, Manny, every time I get an order, she has like a beautiful handwritten, it's always something fun, always something like making it feel like fab and chic and dog. And it's just fun.
Yeah.
Is that a rational reason? Of course, because I can get this from I can go to the website and get this. Why would I need to take the time to put in an order online and wait for her to mail it to me? It's because of her personal brand. So important.
Yeah, that is exactly right. It's exactly right. It's those little things. It's because they like you or because you like her that you buy from her. And you probably wouldn't consider buying from anybody else. Like 10 other reps could come to you and say, hey, I can do this for you. I can do that for you. But no, you've got your girl because you built trust.
I like that. You've got your girl.
You've got your girl. You're sorted. You already know exactly where you're going to buy your product from. And it doesn't matter what anybody else, and I'm very big on loyalty. I'm very big. When somebody gives me a reason to trust them, they're stuck with me basically. And that's my big thing. I'm very big on loyalty. So I mean, like I'm sure you do every day, I'm getting approached by, 10 different people. I can do this for you, I can do that for you. It's like, no, I've got my girls. I know exactly who I'm going to choose to do business with. Naturally, my network is always expanding, especially with what I'm doing in the group. However, there's core things that I'll only go to one person for. And that's nothing to do with their actual, company brand. It's because of them, their personal brand, and the relationship that we've built, which is, also very, very important. One of the things I see regularly.
I want to just make sure people hear that, to echo that. That is so true. The loyalty, the trust, the how you make people feel. People don't remember what you say, they remember how you made them feel.
Absolutely.
I feel special when I'm like, oh, she's like sending her card and takes a little bit of time and it's a fun note with like, chic and fab. So because she gets that that's part of my brand and that I love that. So she's just nailed it. So yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. And it's so important that, you distinguish yourself as a different entity. I'm going to use the word entity in the business, especially when you're an MLM, because you're right. There are so many other reps out there, and let's face it, like there's only a handful that actually make it all the way through, and they're the ones that stand out. They're the ones that put the work in. They're the ones that take the action, and they're the ones that, do whatever it takes to go that extra mile for their customers. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
One of my mentors, he's famous for saying this. He's like, the extra mile is never crowded.
No, exactly. Because most people, let's face it, most people don't do it. It's the same as in all businesses. I believe there was a comment in the group, someone said it takes around 3 years to make a business successful. How many businesses actually fail in the first 2 years?
Well, I tell you, the number is for certainly 75% failing in the first 5 years. So it's probably not, too far from that. And it's because they really don't get the opportunity to focus on what matters. Again, coming from who's leading them, who's giving them the guidance, who's giving them the direction on how to be successful in business. And it's such a critical need. In fact, if I could at this moment, I don't think we even talked about this, it just literally came to my mind that, and I'll share this within the group as well, but on April 8th, I'm going to be doing a live retreat, the Being the CEO of You. And I just found out today that the dean of the business school is going to be a speaker. I'm like, and he's written a book called, all of the things you need to be successful. So I'm really sourcing, top quality speakers to come and speak into this, because I understand exactly this conversation that we're having. They don't have the bits that they need to be set up for success, right? It's why the 3 to 5 years of failure, for me, that's unacceptable. For us to be in a first world nation where we have so much tech, we have so much connectivity, we have so much information, we have the Google, we have the YouTube. There's resources galore. There is absolutely no reason why small business owners, female business owners, should have this fear, this trepidation, right? You go into business like, oh my God, the 3 years are looming. Now you're in anxiety. Oh, the 5 years are looming. Am I going to make it? If we can just set them up to be successful from the word go, right? Yeah. Nobody's selling them a website out of the back of their trunk. They have a full, team. You crack me up.
Why am I got a website for you, honey? Check this baby out.
Exactly. And so we get to be that for them, right? We get to stand and be seen and stand in our presence and stand in our tenure and all of the work that we've done, that we know what's good and what's not good and what's crap and what's not crap. And and to just be bold enough to say it and say, listen, here are the trade-offs. I'm just using 1,500 as a round number, but it's 1,500 for this thing. If somebody's telling you that they're going to do for $40, with all of the caution and trepidation, I bid you farewell, because then we get to stand for honesty and integrity and value for our work. And if there's one thing that I love to impart to women, particularly female business owners, is know your worth, stand in your worth, know your value, stand in your truth. When you build that as part of your brand, when people know that they can't just expect you to give a discount. I always use Louis Vuitton as an example, because I'll certainly in brand, a lot of people understand and know that Louis Vuitton's never put a sale tag on any merchandise ever. Think about that.
Yeah.
Because they understand their people, right? They do the work to understand who are my people. And they focus on that. They're not trying to get everybody. They're not trying to get everybody who's looking to go to, like a Target or a discounted store to get a pocketbook. There are many brands to serve that marketplace. Louis Vuitton's very clear. My person, my muse, my ideal client is this woman who is willing to pay $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, whatever, for vintage, for special. He's very clear. They are very clear. And so we also, as business owners, we get to be very clear. Nobody goes to the Louis Vuitton and says, oh, I need a discount. Oh, can you lower the price? That never full is it's too expensive for me. Can you take a price? But they'll tell you, oh, Lady, can you take some price off the copywriting workshop that you're doing? Or Faith, can you take some work off the branding? And we get to be powerful and say, no, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, we get it all the time with our writing, it's like, oh, can you do a 4,000 word article for $5? It's like, no, I can't. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen that. There's actually a picture out on the internet of like a horse, a drawn horse. And I'll actually put it up in the group because I just love it. And it starts off with where the artist has like, you know, done the back end of the horse, and it's detailed, and it's absolutely beautiful. Like, you know, all the shading's right, and it's just really, really good. And then it says, when your client asks if you can do it cheaper, and by the time you get to the front of the horse, it's like got stick legs out, and it's like, you know, it's amazing. I'll share it in the group. I will post it because it's one of my absolute favorites. And with some of my clients, just like tongue in cheek, I've actually sent that to them when they've asked me to do it cheaper, and it instantly just resets them. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, it's the same. There's another one with a guy for the tattoo, and he's looking at this picture of this elaborate horse. Again, the horse. Tattoo, and he says, you know, when you go for a cheap job, and like, you know, it's like there's a cartoon tattoo going on his body, and it's just it's hilarious, you know. So I'll actually post both of them. They're so important.
Do I think it's such an important way that we get to train up the entrepreneurs, because it's also a training for them. Because let's just say you have somebody who's in a company and they're coming to you for copywriting, and they're like, oh, I want it cheaper. Well, then for your bakery that you want the cheap copy, do you want people coming in and say, I want, you know, 5 loaves of bread, but I want it for a penny? I mean, it's a ripple effect. It just continues. We have to stand in the energy of value and worth, and fresh made organic, you know, bread has a cost versus a piece of bread, you know, 2 for 1 that you're going to get in the supermarket. There is a difference. Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. So I mean, like, Faith, I'm sure you and I could talk for hours
on here. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's time.
So, like, you know, there are other questions I wanted to ask you, but for this interview, let's just like bring it short a little bit so that we get through it. So, tell us what you're working on now. Tell us what you're doing. What's happening for you?
So many good things. So I briefly mentioned the summit. So I will, as a member of the group, I get to post. So I will share the link to that. It's April 6th. It's 8:30 a.m. Eastern, all the way through to 5:30 p.m. I have, as I mentioned, I have amazing, incredible speakers on the topic of feeding into what does it take to be a successful CEO. So it's not this idea that, oh, I'm one of the 550,000 who's just set up a business. When I say to my clients, you're the CEO, if you govern yourself accordingly, there's certain sort of like rights and responsibilities as a CEO in terms of how you conduct yourself, how you show up, that people take your business seriously, that you're acting as a CEO, not just somebody who works at the company. Very different. And so, you know, I just mentioned this dean of the business school at the University of Houston, which is massive. I have a TV show host who is going to be speaking. His show is The Happy Entrepreneur, and he's got thousands and tens of thousands of people that follow him. I have a woman who is a dear friend and client and does amazing work in terms of mindset and manifesting what it is that you want to attract. And so to what we were talking about, the types of clients and so many more. I've got, you know, my dear friend from Australia, from South Africa, who's host of Corona TV. He's going to be, so it's a full lineup. I have entertainment, it's a retreat. I have somebody coming to do meditation and yoga and clearing and grounding to get everybody really understanding what it means to be a CEO. So I'm producing that right now. So that's taking quite a bit of my energy, but also my, which is sort of companion to my book, Ladies Power Up Your Brand, is the Brand Accelerator program, which right now it's on an AppSumo special for only $97. That goes until the codes are done. Otherwise, know that it's a lifetime deal. If you get in before the codes are done, you're in that group for life. You get the accountability every Monday, you get monthly coaching, you get monthly challenges. And it's really all about helping you do the work to get your brand in momentum. So if you need any help with branding and you think, I'm not really sure, should I? Yeah, 97. If you sign up, there will be a place at some point. I haven't talked to many about this. Just who referred you, just put the goddess, just put like the goddess network. And I will know that Manny is the one who sent you. So that's what we're working on. So the live summit and filling out the course, and of course the Platinum Brand Experience program, which is like my baby, which I love, is the Done For You program, where I literally just take the reins and build a brand from, you know, whatever you see for my brand, it's what I do for my clients. I don't hold anything back. And we're doing Platinum Plus, which is going to be an even fuller more enriched program. So we're super excited. Loads of stuff going on, Minnie. Loads of stuff.
Awesome. Sounds amazing. And you and I are going to be chatting too about how we can do a collaboration in our businesses, because what I do with the copywriting obviously really complements what you're doing, and putting the two of them together is just going to be an amazing.
And that's a great thing. I love that you said that, and everybody can kind of model that behavior, right? That for ladies in the group to see where you can find opportunities to collaborate. Like that's a CEO move. That's one of some of the things we're going to be talking about. That's partnership. That's how you ensure that your business doesn't fail, because you find somebody who's like-minded that you can create a win-win for, and you both get to serve from the front and lead together. So yes, absolutely. I just wanted to point that out so they can model some good behavior.
Absolutely. It's so very important. Actually, in my number one book, Lockdown Took My Income, one of the chapters I focused on actually turning over every stone. And so that means, going out there and looking at who you know that could help you, could give you some leverage, to be able to, push yourself forward. And it's about connecting. It's about, building those relationships. I mean, like you, I've got an amazing lineup of fantastic women who have supported me, and I've supported them over the last few years. I've just actually finished an article today I wrote for VIP Global magazine, which is actually the brainchild of Pasha Oliver Carter. Now, I don't know whether you know that name, but she's, in my opinion, she's basically the Oprah Winfrey of the MLM world. So she's from Houston as well, I believe. Oh no, Dallas. So yeah, so she's an incredible powerhouse. And so it's about building those relationships and getting out there and creating the magic that you are, because we've all got it inside us. We've all got something special to offer. And it's when you get your branding sorted that you're going to be standing out too.
Exactly. That when these partnerships come and take a look, like, let me see, because here's the thing that everybody needs to understand. So you're asking another company to put their brand, quote unquote, at risk by associating with you. They're going to come and look and vet. No different than in politics, where it's like, oh, I want this person to be, head of this department. They got to get vetted. So they come to your social media, they look at your website, the grammar is off, the images are low resolution, and it just looks a mess. Even if you are the best at what you do, as I like to say, if your brand looks a hot mess in the streets, the partnerships are not going to come. And partnerships are a great way for you to just really explode and catapult your business. But if somebody's looking at that and go, do I want to say, oh yeah, I'm partnering with this company and this is what they're looking like, or just even like you said, from the wording and is it eloquent and is it beautiful, or is it just run of the mill? Because I'm not run of the mill, so I'm not going to associate with something that might even be perceived as run of the mill, even if, truth be told, they're quite adept at the work that they do, but it's not showing up. And so even from a branding standpoint, when you think about it, it's the perception. It's my perception, my reality, which becomes your brand.
Absolutely.
Because I only have 7 seconds that I'm going to form an opinion on you, and there we go. So what do you want those 7 seconds to communicate?
That's exactly, I was going to say exactly the same thing right there. The first impressions really, really are important, because as we were talking earlier, and we'll wrap this up really soon, but as we were talking about earlier, there's 550,000 new businesses coming on. There's got to be at least 1,000 copywriters, there's got to be at least 1,000 branding experts out of that 550,000 every month coming on. So absolutely. Why should somebody work with Faith James rather than, hello, I've got the good brand, and that's exactly what it comes down to, right?
Exactly. I love it.
Yeah. So Faith, it's been amazing having you on here today. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for imparting your knowledge on, our beautiful community that is it's exploding. Yeah. So if you could just give just a brief advice, a bit of advice to the ladies out there about branding, just quickly, what would you tell them?
So I would first start with what it is that you're trying to do. So this is foundational. What are you trying to accomplish? Because everything else from that point tees off. So just think about it in terms of if you're building a house. a builder can't just start building walls and bay windows. An architect has to first create a blueprint that says, here it is. And then from that point, so your vision, your mission, what do you see for the world? How are you going to be going through the world to make that vision happen? Are two of the key documents that you absolutely, as a business owner, so if you're listening within the sound of my voice, if you don't have a vision statement written out, you don't have a mission statement that I could say, let me see that, and you can just pull it out and say, this is what I'm working from, then you're doing this. You're doing like, hey, I got a thing for you, right?
Yeah.
So I would say take some time this weekend, just give some thought to, pull a journal out, ask yourself the question, what is my vision for the world? You know, my vision for the world is a world where women have the choice to be seen and heard and do and be unapologetic. Let's just say that was a statement. So then my mission is to create a space where women feel safe, where they can be expressive, where they can laugh loud and not worry if their slips showed. And maybe my thing is a boutique where it's just like, we celebrate the feminine figure. Do you see how the energy of that vision statement and the energy of the mission statement then will dictate the copy, the words, the graphic, the type of the photography that we select to express that brand? The vision statement, the mission statement, that is my big gift to you. If you don't have that, you can retrofit, jerry rig, whatever you want to call it, back up and set your vision for the world and get your mission statement going so you know where you're headed.
Great advice. So if you ladies do have a mission statement and everything sorted, then pop it down in the comments and let Faith see it. And of course, if you don't and you're looking for somebody who can help you to do that, then this is my branding girl. Okay, this is my branding girl, Faith James. Okay, so highly recommended by me. We'll be doing a lot of stuff very, very close together over the coming months. I can feel that. We haven't really even talked about it yet, but I can feel it. It's like,
you notice how we just did that? Like, I literally was just like, oh, I haven't talked to Manny about this, but put her name on the thing. And you're like, because that's when the energy is flowing and it's connected and you just already know it.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, like, you know, our products sort of like can intermingle well. And so I can see that we're going to have a long and prosperous future together. In many, many exciting projects, I can see. So
yeah. It's been my great joy. Oh my gosh, like, do we have to go? Like, we could literally be here talking about this forever, but I want to thank you. You've been so gracious with your time. You've been such an amazing host and so giving of your space with your women, with the goddesses. Thank you, ladies, for giving me the time. Thank you for being a co-goddess with me, because I get to play in the group as well. I'm not just an outside speaker.
Yes, you do.
So yeah, I can't wait to connect with everyone. Yeah, definitely, you know, get into the AppSumo, the Brand Accelerator course. If you have any place of where do I start there. It's a one-time pay of $97, and that's it. You don't pay anything else after that, but you have me in there as your coach for life. As long as I breathe and as long as you breathe, you're in. You can't beat that.
Awesome. Sounds amazing. So just anyone that's out there that's interested in any of Faith's courses, I'll get her to put all the links down on the video so that you can reach out to her and you can connect with her and see where she can take you. Now, don't forget, in the group, now invite your girlfriends, because, you know, Copywriters International, the company that sponsors our group, is giving away that incredible package at the end of this month, you know, up to over $547 worth of like copywriting, be it blogs, be it articles, be it like social media posts, whatever it is that you need to be consistent, to, you know, keep being persistent, putting yourself out there, getting seen so that, you know, you can be heard, you can be liked, you can be, you know, noticed, and people can trust you. Okay, so that's what's really important. So that competition will be drawn on the 31st, and that will go to somebody in the group. So the more people you invite to the group, okay, we're keeping a tally. We're putting another post up today to let you know who's in the lead. There's some people sneaking up the side. Nobody I know, like, hey Faith, no one I know, but yes, exactly, that's right. So there's people sort of like sneaking up the side, getting more and more votes, because every person that you invite who accepts an invitation gets you another entry in that draw. So I mean, you get in there, girls, because like when else, I know that's really bad English, but like, you know, if not now, when are you going to get an opportunity to win like all your content created for an entire month? It's just
yeah. And let me tell you guys that the words, I mean, you know, again, from my many years in advertising and marketing, our creative team would be consistent of a graphic designer and a copywriter, and the copywriter was always chief among them. I mean, because that's what sells,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, people are going to be pulled in by the graphic, and maybe there's some brilliant photography or some really stylized art.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, the copy is what's going to do the heavy lifting. So that's a huge bonus gift that people will get.
Absolutely, totally. All right, awesome. Faith, once again, thank you so much for being here today. It's been such a pleasure. Yes, right back at you, girlfriend, right back at you. All right, and I'm sure that we'll have you on again very, very soon.
My pleasure. Thank you, my
All
love.
right, awesome, fantastic.